Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and we have made it to the finale, the conclusion of season 19. This is episode 29, One-on-One Part 4.
Maisie's freaking out. Yes, she is. She's sneezing behind me. She's flapping her ears. She's grinding herself into the chair that's over here, trying to get comfy. It's basically impossible. It's been too many episodes. She can't get comfortable.
She's auditioning to host for next season.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, this is a one-on-one setup down here
It's
now.
not going well so far.
Not so good. And it's a fond adieu to the broccoli bowl. Perhaps we'll see it next season in the next tell-all. 8 more episodes, or 4 more episodes for, round it out.
My favorite thing is to just criticize the random shit that they have around to see how they take that feedback for next season.
Well, I just like that it was the broccoli bowl. It seemed to get larger and larger every time I looked at it, too. So I don't know if it just grew in size between like the first set of interviews, and then when they came back, they didn't remember how much broccoli was in the bowl.
Maybe every time Kody and Robyn lie, the bowl grows larger.
They just kept dropping another floret in there.
No, I'm loving Suki wearing not 1, but 2 evil eye bracelets.
So maybe she'll need a couple more next season. If she gets everybody out on the couch, she needs to stop teasing me with that. She's tantalizing me with a all on the couch, every adult from the show speaking together at the tell-all.
What if we do it like pillow talk and we get the big Davis bed and they all have to sit in the Davis bed?
Suki in the middle?
Furthest from Kody. That way he can't touch her anymore.
Yeah, that needs to be at least Robyn as a barrier in between, because then he would have to reach over Robyn to touch Suki, and I feel like that would be enough of a reason for him to not try to do that anymore. Well, that's not what we're going to see this episode. TLC's description is, in the final episode of this interview special, Robyn discusses coming to terms with monogamy and what she needs to move on. Christine introduces her new fiancé, David?
Yeah, I think you picked up a different episode
And
description.
the couple shares the events that led to their engagement? No, this is what came with our screener.
That is because, did they just copy and paste from last season? Oh my, guys, that is straight from the donkey's mouth. That came right from TLC.
That's what I'm saying, is this came from Warner Brothers Discovery, not to throw anyone under the bus.
I'm just going to go read mine.
Okay, yeah, I'm not correcting it, because what's sad is the first half of that still pertained to this episode. Didn't even know anything was wrong until they started talking about Christine introducing David.
Clearly, they didn't notice that they copy and pasted the wrong description.
Didn't catch it. I didn't catch it either.
Well, I'll take a whack at it.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Christine questions Kody and Robyn's chaste courtship. Meri denies destroying the family by introducing Robyn to Kody. Janelle declares she's a horny Earth mama. Suki begs them to film the tell-all together next season. And so do we. We're all putting our what is it? What's the expression? Our hats
I don't know. You've made a few along the way here since we've been a podcast.
This show has seriously destroyed my ability to state an idiom.
Yeah, mixing and merging. There's going to be a couple different ones that come pouring out of you here.
Putting our hats in the ring. I got it.
Hats
is it
in the
ring or rink?
I thought it was eggs in a basket. Well, see, hats in a rink is a good thing. That means that somebody scored 3 goals. Got good stuff happening.
We lost 3 wives. Hat trick.
Rings, yeah. Which ring is he throwing his head into?
Let's get the pony in the water for the last time this season. Speaking of an expression that I don't know.
Right.
I don't know where that came from. Inspired one day.
Margarita episode.
We're still talking about the luggage rack. Why?
Because that was very important. This was a big part of Christine's healing that she needed for this episode, I guess. Is that what we're going to go with?
Was to be proven right that Kody favors Robyn. She gets all the best. And if Robyn's not taking it, then Kody takes it for himself.
Maybe that's it. Kody found someone who's more self-centered than he is, because he had all these team player wives who were willing to bend over backwards to try to accommodate everyone. Well, maybe not
Christine was bending all kinds of directions.
She was bending, stretching, accommodating every way she knew how.
And it didn't matter in the
Still
end.
wasn't enough.
The sad part.
You can't outlast that deep connection that Kody and Robyn have together. So deep.
You know, I missed in the last episode that Robyn said, well, she just takes the luggage rack. And that to me said more than anything else.
Yeah, she got there first. She's able to throw her luggage on there. And once her luggage is on there, it's too heavy. I'm not going to take it off the luggage rack. It's already there now.
We've just spent so much time talking about how Robyn gets the table scraps. She doesn't really seem like the scraps kind of gal.
Yeah, if she's going for first dibs, that's not a table scraps sort of thing. And I think the difference here being that Kody still isn't giving up the luggage rack. He's not placing Robyn's luggage onto the luggage rack for her in a thoughtful, considerate manner, the way that Christine's kind of painting that picture. It's more so she just beats him to the punch. She got there faster. It's a foot race to the luggage rack.
They're both always just thinking about themselves and not about the other person.
It's like Black Friday and they just opened the doors and they're throwing elbows. As soon as that key card goes in there, all bets are off.
So maybe it's not as romantic as Christine made it out to be.
I think that's the difference here, is that Christine kind of idealized that scenario, and maybe that's not how it actually plays out in reality.
David had something to say at this point about how he's seen that men in polygamy tend to pin the wives against each other and create disputes, and that they really enjoy that dynamic.
Do they pin the wives against each other, or do they pit the wives against each other?
Did I fuck that up too?
I think so.
Great. You know what I mean.
Pinning, pitting. I think Christine got pinned a couple of times. Why does David get polygamy to a T, where he has it dialed in? He's like, oh, it's a pretty simple concept, a divide and conquer. It's a way for the patriarchy to establish and dominate control over the relationship dynamics in the family.
Next season, just have Jen and David on a couch.
Yeah.
And let them comment on everything.
Ooh, I want them. Okay, they would be like the backstage cam, where it's like they're hanging out and then commenting on everything else that the family is saying out front. So that would be like more of the pillow talk, the backstage cam.
I'm loving that idea.
Yeah, this
we
is
need
good.
The green room.
And I still want more activities.
The green room sponsored by Tata Farms.
Oh, I don't think they can afford a sponsorship right now. Budget's pretty tight. The green room. How green are we talking, though? Pretty darn green.
I'm glad you finally got there.
Some of the green.
You're picking up what I put down.
I don't think they'd be able to afford it. Plus, if they were providing product for a green room, you're going to have to wait 3 to 5 years for that turnaround. I don't think we have the time.
We're never going to get there.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, maybe next season we'll have real broccoli in the bowl from Tata Farms. No.
I don't think so.
Not.
Yeah, that's aiming pretty high.
He was not really interested in dating Christine at first, just because he was figuring she's probably pretty fucked up from having been in polygamy, because lots of the other women that he's dated who come from previous polygamous relationships have suffered the same kind of gaslighting and mind games that Kody has subjected Christine to.
Yeah, I feel like his sister caught some strays in this conversation, because he was kind of shitting on, yeah, she's pretty broken from her polygamous relationships, and she's on the other side now, and it's not good. Pretty bad. Cut to Meri, who then were asking how her needs were not met throughout polygamy, so that felt like a juxtaposition there.
Okay, Miss Empowered Meri started to annoy me this episode, because she's excusing things for Kody. Like, we're all selfish sometimes.
Some more than others, though.
Right, but would you say, if you had to put a percentage on it, Mare, how often was Kody more selfish than not?
99.99%. That 0.01% is when Robyn beats him in the foot race to the luggage rack at the hotel room.
We're just going to need to direct her better in the questions. I'm not going to take these sellout answers where she's clearly just trying to make sure she continues to appease Kody. I really do think that she also has hope that at some point in the future, they'll rekindle something to some degree.
Well, it's been a couple minutes. The drama's already ramping up here as the discussion rages on. Maybe it's time to go to the restroom and touch up your makeup a little bit. Make sure that you're still suitable for television.
That is also the kind of shady editing that we need, because we're having the whole conversation yet again about the 4th of July Rebellion episode where Robyn was busy doing her makeup while Christine and Janelle were cooking all the food and taking the kids to do activities.
Why is Robyn trying to say that's not true when there was an entire episode that documented it happening in real time?
Follow-up question, what part of it isn't true? Because we have the clip.
She tried to specify that she took her turns cooking.
Okay, that's not the accusation. The accusation was that you took a lot of time in the morning to get yourself ready, and that Kody acknowledged that as being this great thing, while not acknowledging the actual things that needed to get done to take care of this family, which the other wives were doing. Nobody was saying you didn't cook anything.
But that's what she heard. And I think the other part of this, too, is that she's taking it personally, that they're saying these things. They're calling out what took place, and it's embarrassing. So I liked that Robyn's approach to this was, I wish that the ex-wives would give me more of a heads up on this stuff so I can prepare answers and be more defensive about it ahead of time.
I don't like being put on the spot to come up with a lie. That makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, I don't get to think it through. It comes together like it's very slapdash, like Christine's appearance. And it's just very crudely put together here. And I want my story to look better than that.
Kody did acknowledge, though, that he does care about appearances.
He is superficial. Not superficial. He's a little official.
I guess that's a win. We got something out of one of them.
He's doing better. But also then in the same breath, he's talking about how he only got mean as part of these wives leaving because they started saying mean stuff to him. And so he was fighting back. He was defending himself.
Okay, that is not a valid excuse when you treated them like garbage for 20 to 30 years and then they said something mean about you. I think the behavior that you exhibited is the reason that they're upset. And isn't treating someone like shit for that long worse than coming out and finally saying what you think of them? Because they already know that based on how they've been treated. It was giving, you're only saying that word because I said it first.
Oh, yeah. It is a lot of that, for the most part, from Kody's experience, I think, where he has absolutely no insight into what got us to this point. Why are these women saying these things about me? Partially because they've lost a filter. They're no longer accommodating for your feelings, but also because there's a lot of truth in it of what they are saying. And now it is coming out. And that's what you don't like, because then it looks bad. If we're being honest, it doesn't look great.
Well, he would be a lot happier if they left and made him look good on the way out.
That's really hard to do. That's not usually, if things are going well, I don't think they would be leaving. So I think just the leaving alone is enough of an indicator that things aren't going well.
Well, and we also saw the way that he acted. You didn't really approach it in an amicable way. So why would they have anything nice to say about you? At every turn that you could have made it worse, you did.
Didn't help. But I think he's pointing it all the way back to, well, Christine asked me to leave. Just like how Meri asked him to not come over anymore. And he took that as forever and ever. Okay, will do. Favor granted.
We're eternally sealed into the afterlife. I'm assuming that that's what she meant. She said, never come back.
Never, ever. Never, never, ever.
I think Suki was afraid of what path they were going to go down. So she just completely changes the topic. And this is her first pitch to get everybody on the couch together.
Do we think that that would be the conversation that we would want to have all together on the couch? I don't think we would want to go down that
Why did
route.
I even have to agree to doing this? Just tell them next season that they're all showing up on the same day and have one large couch.
Well, it seems like they are. Yeah, here's your filming date. Is it just, it's Suki's trying to save some time here, I think, too, to consolidate this. I can't take off this much time.
Yeah, I think she's like, look, I had to pass up a couple of different gigs to be able to film this over so many different days. If we can consolidate and do this more efficiently next time, I would really appreciate that.
Well, that in production, they're probably burning through day rates at this point, too, with the crew, with Suki. It's everybody. It's all adding up.
You think she's getting a flat rate?
Not a flat rate.
No.
Well,
and then they tell her, okay, here's the catch. You're showing up for 8 days this time.
And they're 10-hour days. And that's what you get.
That would have been my only question for everyone. As many times as I could possibly ask it.
12 to 14 hours. Yeah. What's your rate? That's my question.
Why was Kody's response? I don't think David should want that to happen. He shouldn't want Christine and I to get in the same room together again.
Because she's going to be all over me.
You think she's going to slide off the couch?
The last time we were on the couch together, sparks flew, emotions ran high.
A snail trail of brownie batter left behind. You're going to have to get darker colored couches next year, Suki.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
That, or is he saying he's going to be so rude to Christine that David's going to have to come out and hit him with
well, maybe
a drywall tool?
That's what some sort of drywall material that would be laying about. He would break a piece of drywall over Kody's head, all caught in the curls. Maybe that was some of the ground rules that David was talking about. Things about just like, hey, don't mention this stuff. Don't bring up Christine. Keep my wife's name out your mouth, sort of instructions. Because they were talking about doing a guy's trip. How are you going to do a guy's trip, but then you can't be on a couch for a conversation in one room? Probably because Christine's there. The same reason why Kody was poo-pooing the double dating pitch that was suggested as well.
He only wants to get together with David if Christine's not there.
Just with David. No Christine. But then we got that lightning bolt moment. We got to address this again.
I'm liking that they held back some of this footage from them until the tell-all, because this is the first time that Christine has ever heard them tell this story. Not just from when they filmed the season, literally ever. She has never heard about the lightning bolt in the church that day.
Did she not read the book? It's in Robyn's #1 New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, I'm convinced they never read their own book.
Christine only read her sections, probably. She couldn't get through the Robyn ones. They're too boring. But that was why Suki was acting like this was this groundbreaking, never heard this story before. It is not the first time that we've heard this. We've heard this account before, just not on the show.
Yeah, but when they talk about the first time that Kody and Robyn ever met, what we typically hear is the story about meeting Robyn in the driveway.
Well, that's Meri's version of it, of when they met, and then she kind of pushed for Kody to pursue Robyn. But that's not the first time they met. But even though, did they meet at this?
No, they just locked eyes. Robyn attracted the male gaze in church.
The polygamist gaze. They held the gaze together, and then...
for a sexual period of time.
Too long. Kody knew he overstayed his welcome. Something special happened there.
So then maybe they didn't hide it? Because that's an accusation that this story has been hidden from the rest of the family. Much like other things we're going to discover.
Okay, yeah, so because it was the staring contest at church, and then meeting in the driveway, and then there was Meri asking, or forcing at that point, I don't know, Kody to ask Robyn to dance. And that's what sealed the deal, the serendipitous dance that they... What's that Twilight song at the homecoming at the end of the first one?
You know I can't hum. No one's going to know what song it is.
Nobody's going to know. Don't worry about it. Look it up.
Iron and Wine song.
Yeah, look it up. Iron and Wine.
Flightless Bird.
Oh, Flightless Bird. Yeah,
I don't
that's
know if
what
that's
they dance
the name of
to.
it, but that's part of the lyrics.
Sure it is. It is now.
Little Robyn, the flightless bird.
The Flightless Bird.
Yeah, she wants to completely disassociate herself from this whole tale that has been spun online that she was the one who introduced Robyn to Kody.
Oh, Meri does not want to be anywhere near being responsible for bringing this into the family.
I'm still struggling, though, with the fact that she met Robyn, talked to her for 30 seconds, and thought, there's like a connection here. Almost like we could be friends. You should probably marry my husband.
That's usually what Meri's move was. She was not good at making friends, and the way that she got friends was by having Kody marry women. That was kind of the family system as it was built out.
And then they all grew to hate her.
They resented Meri, and then once the resentment is there and nobody wants to associate with Meri anymore, then she gets a new friend. So that was kind of, there was a slow burn between Christine and Robyn there. It took a long time for Christine to run out of energy to give Meri.
I'm glad she's had a lot of personal growth and we're at the point where we now just employ our friends.
Well, at least they're getting paid. This was like unpaid internships where it was just a lot of hard work with absolutely no recognition whatsoever.
Kody crying watching the clip was sending me.
There's something beautiful about it. Thank you for showing me this clip. The best part for me was when we find out this is a stolen story, a stolen experience, because Robyn is the collector of family emotions and experiences.
She particularly loves to steal things from Christine, though. Remember the memory that she created? That drawing was based on a picture of Kody with Christine's kids.
I think it was easy to take credit for things that Christine did because Christine contributed a lot. She organized a lot of things. She was involved.
The go-to gal.
She was the go-to gal, and that's why Robyn wanted to be the go-to gal in replacement of Christine. But now we find out the same lightning bolt experience. That's Christine's first experience when she saw Kody in church. They locked eyes. Polygamist gaze that was held.
But is this like the only place that you can meet people?
Is that
part of the problem?
Is that like Cody's move, though? Is he just does like a Rasputin eye stare where he then just convinces you that you're going to love me?
Every week at church, everyone stands up at the end and he finds some vulnerable young girl to make eye contact with.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, let's bow our heads in prayer and then they lock up and just stare through the whole thing. Robyn and Kody did that when they were moving to Flagstaff. They made eye contact during a prayer. Don't let anybody else know.
And when they were making the boat, the 69 measurement.
Well,
Never forget that.
That was a knowing look that was shared. Different.
Finally, Meri is getting what she's wanted, which is Kody admitting that there was a time that he did love Meri.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a new stylist. Someone different than the person that Kody goes to.
That's somewhat connected to his commentary. When he and Meri first were together, there was such a deep connection with one another that they would buy the same clothes and wear them out on dates together.
I think we need to rephrase that. I think we need to be more specific about that. They would buy the same shirt and then wear that out on a date together. They'd be twinning and winning. Or same haircut, too. Usually.
The Keith Urban.
Keith Urban date. That was a big time. It was a big look.
So now we know that was meant to revive the relationship, to bring back the feelings from the early days.
Meri was really trying her damnedest to make that happen, but it was an effort in futility.
Do you think Robyn bought that orange blazer that she wore to the divorce attorney that Meri also had because she thought Kody would have one too?
Is that a weird connection point then between Meri and Robyn where then they started twinning? But that was just a way...
No, that wasn't intentional.
Oh,
that was a single white female thing coming from Robyn's side. That was when she dyed her hair blonde.
It wasn't a connection thing, though. It wasn't emphasizing the closeness of their bond or anything symbolizing the friendship that they had or established. It wasn't anything related to that. It was just Robyn trying to move in and take over.
They all have these really nice stories. Christine's like, I was also hit with a lightning bolt.
I, too, have been struck by lightning.
Meri...
Not so much lightning bolt for Meri, but she got the winks.
The winks. Meri was getting winks.
That's kind of like a knowing look, right? I mean, like that's in that same...
To be fair, she was the first, so maybe he progressed from the wink to just a stare.
Eye stuff.
The wink was a little creepy, you know?
Yeah, you had to
lay off of that.
Tone it down, especially if you're courting. A married man who's courting, you're not allowed to wink anymore. That's too suggestive, but you can stare.
Cut to Janelle. Yeah, if I had more time courting him, I don't think I would have married him.
Robyn and Kody's courtship, that took a while. And if I had been courting Kody for a year, I probably wouldn't be here.
No romantic story about the first time they interacted.
She doesn't remember.
Doesn't care anymore.
Doesn't care. Hasn't thought about it in years.
Something Kody, I guess, forgot for years was one of his first sexual experiences. I'm going to say one of because he refused to share the rest of them with Suki. But this was the one during his college days that he confided with Meri and Robyn about.
Well, this was Kody's purity that we're talking about. His virginity. His male virginity. Kody's secret.
He was half a virgin when they met him, if you will.
Very important. in terms of purity culture.
Janelle cackles. She doesn't give a shit. Who cares? If he had told me the story, that would have been my reaction too. You had a life before me. You'll have a life after me.
Because I'm not sticking around forever.
I didn't need all the details.
And honestly, yeah, like Janelle, for her, she was like a divorcee. She'd banged Meri's brother. She was married to him. Okay? So we all got some skeletons in the closet, so to speak.
She's also not that into pillow talk.
No.
Don't you think once she's done, she's done? She's moving on to the other things she's got to do in the day.
Yeah. It's a long list.
We're not laying here confiding our secrets with one another.
No. You gotta go. You gotta get out. Christine looked terrified, though. Like, she's ready to go do, like, an STD panel after this. She feels so betrayed, and this is completely out of nowhere. She had no idea.
Well, Christine was, as we've been told, the biggest goody two-shoes, most religious of all of them. Maybe she would have been really turned off by that had she known it.
Some yucky energy there.
Really makes you reframe the Robyn purity talk episode, doesn't it? Because we had some other people in the room who maybe should have spoken up.
Well, here's the loophole, is that Kody was able to defend this secret because Janelle and Christine never asked him directly, so he didn't have to disclose that information. That was his workaround here.
Don't you think, though, in their community, in their religion, this is a thing that you should probably volunteer as information just because of the emphasis that's put on purity? Or is it that we only care about the purity of women?
Well, it's probably mostly that. And then also, he's not going to admit it. And I think the whole thing is, it's to shame other people into, you don't even ask those questions. That would be rude.
You didn't ask me anything about myself. That's why we didn't have as deep a relationship as I had with Robyn.
But then this gets scary because then he's talking about how Robyn's intuition was spot on and she asked him directly. So he did divulge that information. But then he realizes by giving Robyn credit for asking, he now also has to give Meri credit because her intuition was spot on as well. She sniffed it out too. Something's up.
Christine's got bigger questions now. Already betrayed by the fact that Kody never told her that. But are we going to really believe that Kody and Robyn were chaste through their entire courtship? Because this is making me questions.
We've all seen those engagement photos. And then they cut to the engagement photos.
Oh, that was not what I thought they were going to show us.
I thought they were going to show... Yeah, the ones that I was thinking of were the ones on the car.
The one where he's got her laid down on the car, propped up, legs open. I may be exaggerating that a bit.
I think that's a bit of an exaggeration.
But we're pretty close to it. Meanwhile, what was this?
You're challenging the journalistic integrity of this podcast now.
They show us a picture of Robyn sitting on Kody's shoulders.
That was weird. Unless they showed us ones where then for some reason it's that same position, but now Robyn's in the front and then she's looking over her shoulder or something. Then it's a whole other layout here. We're talking about the 6 and the 9 that line up.
Christine's going to have to explain this position to us.
Yeah, the back of the neck. That's the sweet spot right there. You get that motor running and it's game over pretty much.
We're not moving past. She laid me down
in a rose garden of trust. I think people pointed out that this sounds like...
It's a song. From a song.
It's from a song.
Kody doesn't have original thoughts.
No, it's just lending to the ADHD theory as well. He is just full of references and quotes, things that are from other things. An amalgamation of quotation. But what was the locker room talk with Suki here where she's asking him about his other sexual exploits then, and she couldn't get that story out of him, though?
That's his fault. Much like in the conversations with Meri and Robyn, he started to volunteer some things.
Well, and that was the problem. He told Suki, well, the reason why I admitted to this stuff was because they asked me. So Suki goes, okay. I got some follow-up questions.
Noted. I have a few questions as well. He started trying to humble brag. That's the problem. He was having fun. High school athlete.
Yes.
There were girls all over me willing to do things with me.
But he doesn't admit to anything more than just Mormon naughty, which is just kissing and hugging.
Okay, well, the missed opportunity to ask about soaking really upset me. If you're going to say you didn't get to third base, we know the loophole that exists, especially at BYU.
Is soaking third base?
No, I don't think they count that.
It's not even on the field?
No, I don't. It's not third base because there's no thrusting. That's where they draw the line.
Are you saying that sex is third base? What is
home
run? What is that?
I'm sorry. I don't speak like this because I'm not 13.
Well, I think you just don't understand baseball analogy fully.
Oh, I don't understand sports.
So
I don't even understand T-ball.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So this is very confusing. So we're finding out a lot of things about Kody. We're finding out a lot of things about soaking and third base.
A lot of misinformation, potentially. But that's why I need the questions to be asked. But this is all just a rude line of questioning from Suki, so we're going to need to shut this down.
Oh, well, Kody was having fun talking about it and joking about it when he was in a jovial mood. He was in a good mood when Suki caught him with that question the first time. When she circled back on it for their supplementary interview that took place here, not a fan, and he's not going to talk about it at all.
He looked over at production. Did you notice that? He looks off screen.
That they crossed a line?
Yeah, there's someone he's yelling at.
Is it Robyn? Is it a mirror?
I think it was a threat of a walk-off. So if you guys have the bingo card, I'm going to let you know you can cross it off.
Yeah, it was close.
That was pretty close to one. They lied about everything. That's Christine's take on it. I have to agree. They lied about how they met. They lied about how close they were during their engagement. They lied about taking all the money from the family.
We'll see about the lying about how they met necessarily, because I think we're going to double check. We're doing our book club. It's starting up because just because the season's over doesn't mean that the fun has to stop. So next week, we're going to be going through, the first chapter of...
I bet you there's a prologue.
The prologue. I think I do recall the prologue with Kody Brown rambling on for quite a few pages. So that'll get the back of your neck tingling.
Maybe that explains the position.
That's what we're going for here. Yeah. I didn't like Robyn's description of them sealing their engagement with a kiss as a face stamp. I wasn't comfortable with that term.
It wasn't as romantic as she would have liked. So I'm going to pitch. Let's do it again. Let's propose again and renew the vows.
It's only a matter of time. We're inching closer and closer to that storyline with every single question that comes up here at the tell-all, too.
I'm not surprised, though. Cody's not smooth. He just smashed his head into her. In that sports car, was the top down, was the top up?
Not the first time, not the last time, and I don't like where this line of questioning is going.
Well, maybe it's because they were shoved into the back seat.
I think Robyn's top was down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty woman rules. They didn't kiss until the engagement ring was on, for all the other stuff that occurred in the back seat.
But then any other explorations, because, hey, you got to test drive, you got to test the goods here if it's going to be for the rest of your life.
Christine knows. She understands it.
She's a grown woman, a divorced woman. She should have more sympathy for the position that Robyn found herself in now.
The many positions she found herself in.
Few, at least.
I don't think there's that many positions.
Not too much going on in that repertoire, in the boudoir.
We got to call out for a church kiss. We got a wedding singer reference.
Church tongue. At least it wasn't yummy.
Where's Pat when you need her?
But it probably was delicious. Is monogamy going to be enough? Kody and Robyn, is it going to last?
I don't care. Unless they download all the apps that Garrick Merrifield is on, I don't want to hear about this anymore.
I think that Kody was traveling down the path of losing Robyn too, with the way that he was reacting to all the divorces and the anger and taking everything out on Robyn and her kids.
I don't agree. What is Robyn going to do? I guess she could get alimony, right? Because she has been the legal wife for a number of years now.
Oh, yeah. And she's
got kids who would get child support.
Never had a job.
I don't see her being able to monetize her post. Well, it's not post.
Nuptial?
Polygamy.
No.
You know what Christine and the others were able to do. I don't see Robyn being able to do anything like that and creating some form of career that would bring in money afterwards.
She would be a professional divorcee.
A Black Widow, if you will.
Well, without all the extra work that happens at the end of the Black Widow
She can't
stuff.
do that.
No. Significantly less money, though. So you're just going to have to, do more, I guess.
We're in Sedona. Don't you all remember the last time you were in Sedona together? It was such a good memory when you had therapy with Nancy for the first time.
Right. That was the connection back.
And Robyn didn't show up to half the sessions, but we're not going to hold her accountable for that. This is actually, Robyn, the time that you took the personality test that you don't remember doing.
There were some individual therapy sessions that took place there that she ducked out onto. This was the one thing that we were able to get her to show up to in a group setting that weekend. It was the positioning, which maybe she thought it was something else.
I was struggling to figure out how we were going to describe this therapy exercise.
The positioning. I'm pretty sure that's how we've referred to this in the past.
Okay.
It's like the happening, but it's different.
It was sculptural art, but with your body.
It was living art.
Living, breathing art.
That's what's going on. I don't think they would have done it if that's how you explained it to them, though.
Okay, I'm going to call out Suki. This is a stupid question. Why did they even air it? Like, this is a waste of time to ask Christine, were you happier then or are you happier now?
There's a very clear answer.
I could have answered it for her.
And it's a closed-ended response that you get because is it then or now? Now. Okay. What else you got? We're going to need to talk about it a little bit more.
This was the longest clip that they've showed us this season.
And it wasn't even from this season. It was from 13 seasons ago.
Oh, I guess the new production company is thinking we all forgot about this. Because I am liking the shortened down clips of other stuff, but this one felt like old times.
This one felt like an old clip that they left in as part of the old format before they shook things up.
They let Puddle Monkey handle this piece of the episode.
Of the archives. Of the holy archives that are taking place here. I don't think it was Puddle Monkey, though, because there was no sepia tone on it. There was a little filter, but not full sepia tone flashback.
That's a bummer. You got to keep something to
tradition.
Make us...
Yes, you have to respect tradition.
This gets us into a weird monologue from Robyn. I thought that this was suddenly Kate Winslet in Titanic about how she's got to fight like a man.
And ride like a man. She did ride like a man this season too, and spit like a man.
Wait, was the point that the other wives all fight like a man, so she would fight like a woman with Kody?
Is that what the dig was?
I'm not. Look, I can't follow. I can't follow it.
That is the subtle implication that she is making, is that Meri, Christine, and Janelle all fight like men. They go toe-to-toe with Kody, and he doesn't like that.
Which is the opposite, though, of what everyone else is saying, because Christine actually is complimentary of the way that Robyn would push back against Kody, and that she would never do anything like that. But Robyn's approach is to fight like a lady?
And I think that just means fighting with words? Fighting with reverse psychology?
Not letting him leave the room was the only thing that we heard.
Well, that's kidnapping, so be careful.
She's going to catch a charge.
You might, yeah. It's dangerous.
I don't think Robyn's cut out for prison.
Because Kody might pull out his emotional sword and start swinging. We don't need imagery, sword imagery.
Between that and the Rose Garden of Trust.
Keep it sheathed, okay? Put it away.
Did we finally get to talking about if they do this again?
Would you do it all over again? Another closed answer that it's a yes or no response. Would you do it again? No.
I need them to bring out ice cream because this is just making me feel like when they would ask all the kids if they're going to live polygamy when they grow up, because we've asked it so many times.
Oh, not ice cream. You're asking for frozen yogurt by the pound. That's what you're asking for, or selling it by weight.
We need a good froyo place.
Your cup runneth over.
Let's go to Pinkberry. We're filming this scene there.
One little blast of the sour tart. What did you get? What was your weird ass flavor?
Eurotart is my favorite.
That's also Robyn's nickname, I think. At some point in time in an alternate universe. Eurotart flavor. And then I'm just dumping so much candy into this thing. It's 99% candy, 1% froyo. And that's it. That's all you need.
Kody doesn't want to do polygamy again. Robyn, I guess he thinks that she doesn't want to, that she's been so traumatized by it that she wouldn't, but her version of events is a bit different.
They have the same answer, but if you walk through how did we arrive at that conclusion, it's a little bit of a different route.
Well, of course, Robyn has unrealistic expectations in that If someone could predict the future,
Which Robyn kind of can, allegedly.
I think Christine can.
By her own standards. Christine and Truly definitely can.
But if someone could promise her that it would all work out in the end, she'd probably maybe do it.
Well, that's not going to happen. So then your answer is no. Yeah, that's what's going on. But if I could get a guarantee and Kody was on board, then I'm in.
But that guarantee has to come from God himself.
A burning bush has to tell me.
She needs to have a personal conversation.
Her bush
needs to burn
to be burning before she's going to even explore that as an option.
It was giving, God's going to give me a rental. God's going to give me a promise that this polygamous relationship's going to work out.
I think God hung up a while ago on Robyn. Like,
stop asking me for stupid shit, bitch. I have other things to do.
There's so much going on right now.
I do not care if you're going to sit on the porch with your sister wives.
It's not going to happen. Get over it. I don't know what else to tell you. Kody was pretty quick on the no, and then he walks it back because, like, would you do it all over again?
Well, that's a different question.
That's hard.
Would you do it again versus would you do it all over again? Relive the past. Would
Yeah.
you relive the past again?
Would you try it again, or would you do it all over again?
With the same people.
Those are two different questions. So that's why Kody was having trouble answering this, but
Well-
he answered very quickly, thinking about the future, not the reliving everything that they've experienced.
Well, it's complicated because then you have to think about everything that's come out of those relationships, like all of the kids that they have together that he doesn't talk to anymore.
Well, it works if you work it. And clearly that's why it didn't work here.
Biggest disappointment, Janelle saying she would do it again. There's just a lack of polygamists in the South.
She said she would do it again. I thought she was a no for polygamy.
No, she said she's open to it.
No.
She enjoyed it. 9 out of 10. The guy kind of sucked. The rest of it, she enjoys the freedom of polygamy.
Oh, I think I got caught up where she was saying no apps. And then she started going through what sounded like a dating profile that would fit on the app, which she's not looking for anybody flashy, high maintenance, no prima donnas. She's got her criteria. It's listed out.
Janelle's looking for a low maintenance king.
Who likes to be outside and inside.
Close to nature.
She's not asexual. She's an earth mama. She's a Taurus. Everything earthy.
What does that mean? How do we translate that into the bedroom?
I think she said wine, food, and sex. Earthy. Like rooted in the earth?
Outside in the earth?
Earthy and girthy? Is that what we're getting to? I don't know what that means.
We're going to need her to explain further.
I need more
Let's see
information.
the dating profile.
We needed follow-up questions on that. Multiple questions. Mary's just looking for anybody who can match her energy.
And Jen doesn't care. She's stocking up on condoms. She's like, this is all I care. Does he have a dick? Can we get you fully divorced?
We need to get divorced by Robyn's standards, but it's been a long, very long time by Mary's admission here. You're going to have to knock the cobwebs loose. You're going to have to get back up in the saddle, Meri.
Let's see them both do speed dating together next season.
Janelle and Meri?
Yeah.
Another connection point for them. Same phase of life. It would be really hard to do the same speed dating unless they're both going to meet up in Boston. But I don't know if Janelle's going to be able to find an earthy dude.
I mean, East Coast. Let's get him out there.
Just in general.
I have a feeling Janelle's dating card would look like Connor's, where she talks to someone for 3 seconds and she's
Nope.
crossing him off.
Yeah.
Doesn't like the outdoors. Next.
Over it.
But we've got about 5 minutes left. So Suki, yet again, is going to pitch getting everyone on the couch together so that she can spend less of her life doing this next year. If she's invited back.
Fair enough. Yes. And I mean, Janelle and Christine, they sounded like they were up for it. Meri was kind of a maybe. I think she just knows it's not possible unless Kody and Robyn agree to it, which at this point, they're not into it. So she doesn't really have to give an opinion.
No, and also she mentioned they can only do it if they're all not angry anymore. But that kind of defeats the purpose for the rest of us because it's fun to watch you guys argue and not get along. So why would we want you all to be in a good place?
Well, that could be fun is if they think that they're all in a good place. And then you start asking questions that really peel some stuff back. You get to the root of that. You find out maybe we aren't getting along as well as I thought we were.
What did you think of the tell-all?
I think Kody wrapped it up on a very Cara Berry note of thank you for listening. Thank me for talking. So That was applicable and appropriate, I guess.
Maybe he's a fan.
He's been listening. Yeah, must be.
I think we learned that we need these tell-alls to evolve. Because this is, the fourth time that Suki has hosted?
Is it the fourth time already?
It feels like it. Why do we have to have 4 parts of the tell-all if we're going to ask adjacent questions to things that have been asked previously?
And I mean, I get it. There's longer conversations. There's more stuff that doesn't make it into the final episode. Suki's just trying to ask the right questions. But to not even know Jen's name, that's a concern.
She does say that she watches the show.
She watches the show.
We need to be more educated about the side characters, Suki. They're important.
And I think watching the show is surface. That's the intro level course here of where people are engaging in the show. There's
got to dig deeper.
There's a lot more going on the family socials.
You got to get on Reddit.
Yeah, with what's going on. You got to get in on the fan theories. It's real stuff. It's really engaging if you get engaged with it. I don't know if Suki's there. I'm worried about her.
We need her to spend the next 365 days preparing for the tell-all.
And I don't think they pay her enough to do that. So I don't want to ask Suki to do that personally.
Before you go, a few quick announcements. We're not going anywhere. We're not taking a break.
I'm not fucking leaving.
No rest for the weary. Next week, we are going straight into Robyn's #1 New York Times bestseller, Becoming Sister Wives. We'll be conquering chapter by chapter.
Epilogue by epilogue.
We may have some fun events. If you're over on the Patreon, perhaps you'll get to pick a couple of sentences to be read in a voice or two.
Robyn voice, Kody voice. Find some segments that you'd like to hear out loud on the podcast.
Just so you get the full experience, since they didn't give us an audiobook.
You could hear what would have been on the recording if they had done an audiobook.
Also, we've got another podcast called Surviving Reality. Be sure to check that out, subscribe, leave a review. Although that makes me a little nervous. Some of you guys cut with the words.
Oh, my goodness. Well, and we've been doing some true crime stuff, a little departure, because normally it is more reality TV stuff, but we've been waiting for Plathville to make its return, which should be coming back at the end of July. So to bridge the gap a little bit, we've been exploring some documentaries. An American murder tale, a wedding, a marriage, an American murder marriage, American horror story, murder marriage house. And then also the Titan submersible.
And we jumped in and talked about the owl theory from the staircase.
Yes, very much so.
Not the staircase itself. You've heard about that a million times. You've had the recaps. You enjoyed it during COVID. Instead, we're talking specifically about bloodthirsty owls. It's very educational.
So Carly was talking about bloodthirsty owls. I know that the owls don't consume the human flesh.
Just the hair.
It's
no. As we've learned over on the Discord.
They become fond of it for trophy purposes, for nest making, if they found that works best for what they need.
Serial killers, that's all you need to know.
They have that same mentality. Can't deny it.
So you truly never know what you're going to hear over there. And we've got a Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod, where we have thousands of hours of bonus content. We've got something very exciting coming up. We have A Cory Strikes Back.
Do you remember what it was?
It was in the rehash fashion.
Yes.
For those of you, if you know, you know.
A Cory Strikes Back of the 1998 film Armageddon. So keep an eye out for that. And if you like what you're hearing, you can get access to all these episodes early and ad-free on the Patreon as well.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.